Hey YouTube, Rico Knows here. If you don't know who I am, I pick fights for a living. This is what I do, right? I'm the best capper in the world at UFC. Welcome to the channel. Now let's break it down. UFC 314, Volkanovski versus Lopez, all this stuff. Look, we're not going to talk about the main event in this video. In this video, I'm giving away the early prelim for free. If you want all the other picks, all the other parlays, props, all that stuff, you got to become a member. That's what they do. We have over 6,000 members on Patreon. Shout out to my boys on Patreon, the MVPs. Here it is. Go download the app. You never heard of it? Download the app, Patreon, search Rico Knows. It'll change your life. This is me talking about the NFL draft. This is me talking about the fights and our picks. Yes, I make a video for every single fight. Okay? Yes, you can get the free ones here on YouTube. Those knuckleheads who are talking. I can tell you right now, I watched two dudes. They give away the picks for free. I watched them breaking down a fight, and they kept talking about Hailey Cowan, and they said she's a soccer player. They said she's a soccer player. Two-time All-American gymnast, not a soccer player. But, I digress. Nonetheless, this is UFC 314, biggest fight of the year, or at least biggest fight card up to this point. So we're going to go break down the early prelim fight. Let's talk about it. Early prelim fight. Norah Cornolle. I call her Cornhole. Norah Cornolle versus Hailey Cowan. We're going to start with Hailey Cowan. Hailey Cowan hasn't fought in 2 years. They don't even have a picture of her. None of you guys have seen her fight. She's 5'8". They say 137, and that's because the last time she fought, she missed weight. She missed weight by 2.5 pounds. They still let her fight, and then she's been out for the last 2 years. She's a southpaw fighter. I'm going to tell you guys some red flags about her real quick. Number one, her head coach, her main coach, is her husband. You guys know I hate that shit. It's just the pretty girl who came to the gym and you started hooking up with the main coach, and he's like, yeah, you can fight. Come fight with us and everything will work out. Look, she is a former collegiate athlete. She knows how to push her body to the limits. She's very big and strong. Very big and strong. I think that she has a mauling style when she fights. She wants to get you up against the cage. That's usually where it ends up, in a clinch. And she fights for underhooks. Like, she'll pummel for underhooks, which is great. I love to see it. But she doesn't do anything with them. She doesn't elbow you in the clinch. She doesn't dirty box. She doesn't get a takedown. That's for damn sure. It's just on the fence, kind of out-muscling people. And when you're pummeling for underhooks or turning people against the cage, if you've never done it in the gym, I'm telling you right now, it's the most exhausting thing in the world. If I don't want any of my students to knock each other out, if they say, yo, are we going to do sparring today? Are we going to do that? Listen, we're going to go do pummeling drills for the first 15 minutes, and then you can't wipe your own ass, okay? So Hailey will be exhausted if that's what she's doing in this fight. That's what it is. And remember, sometimes when it's an early prelim fight, I'll tell you things like, well, this particular fighter doesn't train well against a southpaw or hasn't ever faced somebody left-handed before. Hailey Cowan is a southpaw, but she has a fundamental flaw. When you're southpaw, you should be using round kicks or kicks to the body because it's going to be like a mirroring of some sort. So the kicks are open to the body. She doesn't do this because her kicks are weird. Her kicks aren't like a whipping effect. Her kicks are straight. And I mean, her entire leg is just straight and it just taps up against you. I want you to think of somebody who punches you like this. How effective is that, right? As opposed to having it bend and then going through what I call the pipe or the moment. So when your leg comes around, you should have your knee up, your knee going, your knee is bent. I don't want to stand up and do an example for you. And then you whip your leg into it. She just doesn't do that when she kicks. She's weird. She'll even do like these jump kicks, these hitch kicks, if you will, almost a la Karate Kid type stuff. Even when she's exhausted for no reason, she's doing them. But the worst thing she does is she leads combos with a cross, with her left cross. Remember, if we want to throw combos, I'm just letting you know, fundamentally, I'm looking for a jab cross hook. And there's a reason for that, and it's about your hips being loaded. You throw a jab. When you throw this cross, you're actually pivoting on your power leg. Your power leg pivots, and it lets you load your hips on the opposite side, so now you can throw your hook. And then you can throw your uppercut. But you need to alternate to load your hips to get the most effective power. This is something we talk about when you're working mitts, bags, throwing combos of all different types. Well, she starts all her combos with a cross. And when you start with your back hand, you don't know the distance you are away from your opponent. Now, you can throw a jab to measure distance, or you can throw a jab to move somebody's head into your power hand. There's two strategies there, okay? But when she throws her jab, hell will freeze over. Because I don't see it. She doesn't use a jab. She's left-handed, but doesn't use a jab to set up her strike. She'll just be sitting here, and then she'll just explode with like this power hand from the back. Dude, that's too long. It's almost the equivalent of throwing a naked kick. And you guys have heard me scream about naked kicks. So I think when she's standing, she's a liability in striking. I really do. And I also think that she doesn't move her head off center line. She doesn't move her head to the left or right when you're trying to dodge strikes. You have to circle away from the power hand. You have to move off center line. It's right here, bro. And she's moving straight back. She's very robotic is how I would describe her. Don't get it twisted. She's very strong and athletic, okay? So let's talk about the last time we saw her in the cage against Jamie Lynn Horth, a Canadian, not a good fighter. This was 2 years ago. So it's been 2 years. It takes her a while to get to make weight, and then she also, she just isn't that dominant. She isn't that good. People cancel fights due to injury. She's always injured about something. Then we have the fight on Dana White Contender Series. This is where she won by split decision. She won the first round. She got a big cut. She wins the first round. Second round, she gets tripped, taken down, and dominated. And when she's on the ground, she makes fundamental errors. Not just giving up your back, but I'll give you an example. If somebody's got you in side control, and their feet, they're not in your guard. They're in side control. They're chest to chest, elbow in the elbow notch right here, and we got an elbow by the waist or whatever. You're on bottom. You don't start bucking your hips and trying to fuck this guy. You don't do that. That's all muscle. You're using all your muscle to try to get up. The first thing you do is you shrimp back to guard or half guard. You're in side control. Guys on top of you, you got to somehow shrimp and get across and get back to guard and half guard. We need to transition to dominant body positions. But you're not just going to arch your back and bridge a la wrestling and end up in the mount. It's just not happening. She tries to use too much muscle for everything she's doing. She's not slow. She's not smooth. She's not in control. And if you don't have the muscle, you're not getting up. If you have lactic acid building, you're not getting up. I've seen her gassed in both their fights, and now you haven't fought in 2 years, and you have trouble making weight? And the judges, the doctor said for her not to make the last cut. Bro, she's not professional. She tells me MMA is easy because she's been a gymnast her whole life and she's been pushing her body in the gym. Cool, bro. Learn how to grapple because her grappling is gross. She's almost caught in an arm triangle. She's just not any good at jiu-jitsu, period. And she nearly getting tapped by a damn blue belt. Late over here is a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. She's Brazilian. And now you're fighting Norah Cornolle. Norah Cornolle is a problem. She's upset with the world, man. She's a dog. You can't count this girl out. She's got it going on. It says France. Okay, bro. Whatever you want to say. Let's talk about some of the times we saw her in the cage. So we saw her against Edwards here. If you didn't know, Edwards is a big girl too. A big muscular girl. She's got big old booty. It's kind of just wide, not poking out back at you. But Jocelyn Edwards, she loses this fight 30-27, 30-27. Okay? Jocelyn Edwards goes for 5 takedowns and still loses 30-27 on cards. Had 8 minutes of control time, and still loses on cards. He's losing every single round. Why? Because Nora can actually throw them things. Nora's a dynamic striker. She moves well. She knows how to get up. She does. But when she gets, she just got a fight in her. She's not out here chilling. She knows when to land damage. Like, let me give you an example. When Hailey's on top or in the clinch, she's listening to her coaches and doing what they tell her to do. And she does it well. She listens to her husband. She washes the dishes and makes dinner. She listens to her husband. And what's really cool is I like fighters who listen to their coaches. But at the same time, I think to myself, why aren't you naturally doing those things? Like, why do you have to wait to hear it from your coach? Why can't you just be an extension of your coach in the cage and do it without being told? Why isn't it instinctive to you to want to elbow in that position or throw a knee from that point? She has to hear it from her coaches to get it there. And she's always fought in the apex. You can always hear your coaches in the apex. But you're about to be fighting at UFC 314 in a huge arena. I don't know if you're going to hear your coaches all the damn time. I don't know. Okay? So that kind of bugs me about Hailey is like she seems very, I've said it once, I'll say it again. She seems very robotic. Nora's just a dog, bro. Nora could be on bottom and she's still got that fight in her. Now, Okay, so she beats Edwards 30-27. 30-27. Let's talk about Melissa Mullins. I think Melissa Mullins is a better version of Hailey Cowan. Melissa Mullins is an English fighter. She was undefeated up to that point. Melissa Mullins was our lock that night. She got knocked out. I love Melissa Mullins. I think she's a good fighter. But she goes out there and loses despite being a minus 360 favorite. And how this happens again, Melissa Mullins gets a control for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You outmuscle this girl. You outmuscle her. You think you're going to go do those things. And she's going to get up and let you feel the pain. She's going to throw them things. And she can just win. She's just a dog about it. And she wins by knockout in the second round. Now, Borico, she lost her last fight. Yeah, Cavalcante's better than all these girls. Cavalcante's a space manager. Cavalcante's just clean, tall, sleek, and doesn't want to grapple, doesn't want to grind up against the cage. She just wants to strike, and she's really good at maintaining distance and controlling the fight and spacing. I think Cavalcante's another level among all these other girls in the early prelim card right now, right? So for me, Nora is just a much more battle-tested beast, if you will. And I just don't know how Nora's going to lose to a girl who fights once every 2 years. And the best I've ever seen her look was a split decision where she definitely lost a round. Nora just feels like a better fighter. Now, Nora's 35. This is not a spring chicken, and it is an early prelim fight. And I know you guys hate betting on women fights. You hate betting on the early prelim fight. And I don't necessarily feel comfortable telling you that this particular fight is a lock, but you guys see it here. And for those of you who are new, when I make something green, we're right 66% of the time. Doesn't matter about the odds. If I make it green, we're right 66% of the time. And I'm going to tell you something. Last year, 44 fight cards, when I made it green, we were right 83% of the time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the odds are. If I make it green, that means it's a lock. I'm going to get it right. And in this particular case, I'm on Nora. I don't see her losing to Hailey because I just trust her more. I trust her cardio. I trust her willingness to want to win, right? And I trust her ability to strike. Nora's a dynamic striker who's going to get off center line. I'm telling you right now, Hailey's not. Hailey's going to be very hittable. She's going to be there. And the only thing Hailey can really do is kind of outmuscle you to the cage, but nowhere else. She can't do anything else. If you're rolling on the ground, there's going to be a reversal. There's going to be a sweep, if you will. If you're a jiu-jitsu guy, it's a sweep. If you're a wrestler, it's a reversal. But there's going to be a change in dominant body position, and she's not going to be on top anymore. Hailey loses on the ground every time. She get caught in an arm bar. But standing, I think she's embarrassingly outgunned against somebody like Nora. I feel like Nora can't lose to Hailey. So it's a lock for me, but careful. Listen, when I finish this entire fight card and I fill in all these winners, you're going to see me fill in the parlays and the prop ideas. You won't see a whole lot of Nora on there. The reality is I can't decide if Nora's winning by submission or knockout. I can't decide if Nora's winning by points. So I'm just going to leave it at money line, and I feel like that's a good enough return for me at minus 170. Well, what does that really mean, Rico? Well, let's talk about it. For me, it's minus 180 now. It's growing. But for me, this is a full unit bet. For me. You do you, right? So I don't ever dictate how many units you should be betting on this stuff. I talk about that with the MVPs in private and on the Discord server or on Patreon, whatever it is. But I don't necessarily dictate how much you should put on every single fight. That's not me. I'm just an analyst between two fighters. Not necessarily. I'm not telling you how to defeat a sports book. That's your business. But I'm going to tell you right now, getting back $55 for getting it right feels pretty good for me, or half a unit. I'll do that all day. I just feel like Nora's better than Hailey. This is good. I wouldn't be parlaying this. Not from my perspective. Not right now. I might do a parlay, but if I do, it's only going to be a 2-leg parlay on the prelim, so we can chase if we need to, just like we did last week with our points, right? In the main event, I'm like, yo, just take it. By points, we're good. And we got that right as well. So it's just one of those situations where you need to pick and choose wisely, pick your battles. It is the first fight of the night. And the last thing you want to do is make this 6-leg parlay and you miss on the first fight, and then you're done for the rest of the night and you can't enjoy it. Last thing I'm going to tell you, if you want to watch this damn fight and you want to hang out with us on the Discord server, the stage has 300 seats. The stage has 300 seats. Come watch the fights with me. Come listen to my commentary. I'll provide analysis, live betting advice, commentary, all that stuff. Okay, so I'm going to let you know right now, Hailey Cowan's going to try to outmuscle Nora and put her up against the cage and try to win rounds this way. And I just think Nora's a dynamic striker and way too mean to get in the pocket with her. So I I prefer it this way. But as the fight goes on and you watch it, we can give you guys advice on whatever's about to happen. It happens often. MVPs will cash out, go live bet the other way, hedge their bets, all kinds of stuff. You talk to the listen, when we're doing these shows and we're talking, you're watching the fights with 200 other people, 300 other people who think just like you. Okay, they're gamblers just like you. They want to maximize their profits for that day. It's not necessarily me. I'm not a gambler. I'm an analyst. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Good luck, y'all. I'll make all the rest of the videos today. Peace.